Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our May 31st, 2021 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including stuff happening with Superman and Lois. We're going to be talking solicitations in the comic book world. We're going to be talking about DC superhero girls and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to ask for your questions and comments on any Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my patiently waiting co-host, Michael Bailey. Hello, Mike.
I don't know if I've ever been called patient before. I'm not really a patient man, but nobody wants to hear about my personality quirks. Everyone here watching WGBS Live wants to hear about Superman, and because of that, we want to hear from the Superman fans that are watching us live right now on YouTube. And I don't know how many that's going to be tonight because it's a holiday over here in the States. But hopefully we got some people. Now, if you do want to participate in the show, because sometimes we take calls halfway through, there's an easy way to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to need Skype. Go to Skype, search for Superman homepage, and message us that you'd like to be on the show. Now, two things that are very important. One, message us. Don't just call. That can screw things up. And two, if you are using an external speaker to watch WGBS Live, please mute that because we are on a bit of delay, and that can kind of screw things up too. So basically everything that we have for you to do is so that it doesn't mess up.
Indeed, and if you are watching this live via YouTube, then we encourage you to participate in the comments there. There are already, at the moment, 9 people watching the show live via YouTube, and they're all in the comments. There's Rom, there's Douglas Meacham, there's JP Rocha, there's Steve Brown, John Patrick Van Pelt, Michael and others all joining in as the show begins. So, your fellow fans are there. Comment with them. Make your questions known. We'll answer them. We'll look at them. But if you'd like your comment or question featured on the screen as a text message, then all you have to do is press the super chat dollar symbol there. It's a little dollar sign. You click on that. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the amount you are willing to donate to the show, and we will feature your comment or question live on the screen as the show goes to air. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you'd like to support the Superman homepage, then you can head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, or you can click the join button there right on YouTube and become an official member of our channel. Well, Michael, what's your week been like this holiday weekend for you guys so far?
Oh man, just to prepare for this show, I had to kind of steel myself. I had to iron out my thoughts on what we were going to be talking about. Yeah, I'm making bad puns. It's bad puns all over the place tonight. Dad jokes for everybody. No, it's going okay. I've just been waiting for you to ask that question so I could do my bad steel jokes.
We're both wearing the traditional symbol today.
Yes.
No, crazy graphics or anything like that. But see.
No, your background is somebody is commented that your background is burning.
Yes.
So apparently I'm not the only one making bad jokes. Douglas is in the chat doing that for us too.
Yeah, that's the John Byrne cover to a trade paperback that's coming out this week. I think it's Superman Man of Steel Volume 3. Yep,
and that's the cover to Superman number 12.
Mm-hmm.
With some great recoloring on the background. The original cover was white behind it, but I really like the blue that they put. It just makes the image pop a little more for me. I'm kind of shocked though that they didn't change everything because a lot of those action figures are Marvel characters, design-wise. So I guess they just let that go.
Mark asking if you had to hammer out your problems this week.
I gotta hammer out a lot of my problems this week. A lot of them I can't talk about because of ongoing litigation. So,
all right. Well, let's get into this week's topics, and we also have some monthly segments and weekly segments to do this month. So, without any further ado, let's get into the movie side of things. And just quickly, if you are a fan of Superman the movie, and who isn't, and you are in the Gettysburg, Pennsylvania area, the movie will be screening on Wednesday, June 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at the Majestic Gettysburg. theatre. So that's just a little bit of information there for fans in that area. But a reminder about Superman, Superman in Concert, the event that has been postponed due to COVID a couple of times now at the Royal Albert Concert Hall in London, England, is scheduled to take place on Friday, July 16th, as I said, after a couple of postponements. This is a tribute to the movie and more particular the soundtrack by who am I trying to say?
John Williams.
John Williams. Just had a mental blank there, showing my age. But so yeah, the John Williams theme played along with the movie there, and you can purchase your tickets for the Royal Albert Hall in London, England, via our website if you haven't done so, and you are living in and around that area. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that's holding me back. Is
that you're not in the area.
I'm not in England. No.
No. So yeah, Superman the movie, as I said, screening in Gettysburg, and then Superman in Concert available at the Royal Albert Concert Hall on Friday, July 16th. All right, so that's the movie side of things. Not much else that we can talk about at this point in time, but we do and have lots to say about the latest episode of Superman and Lois, which aired last week there and here, titled Man of Steel. I can't believe we didn't see the twist coming just from the very title.
Yeah, that was very clever of them. Actually, the twist overall was just very well done. Because I remember when it was like Captain Luthor, it's an African-American gentleman, it's just like, are they making the black guy the villain again? That's kind of a trope and something that I think we need to move away from. But the fact that he's not so much the villain, that he's John Henry Irons from another world, another Earth, where apparently he and Lois have a very healthy relationship. I just, the way it was revealed within the episode, because you're watching him build stuff, like, all through it, they have the montage of him making the red sun lamps. But having Lois say the name and then having him bring in the hammer was just like one of those things where it's just like, oh, this is just so perfect the way they did this. So I just, there was a lot good about this episode, but the fact that they made it Steel, they made it John Henry Irons, which was the idea of one of the writing assistants, and the showrunner gave him full credit for that, which is pretty classy for the showrunner to do. But just kind of mentioned it, and it just changed the whole trajectory of the character. Good on them for keeping it quiet this long. Like, seriously, like, I'm impressed with that. This is like one of the most legit reveals I've seen on television in a very long time.
Now, John Patrick Van Pelt seems to be a little bit confused about what's happened in this particular episode. So let's clear things up for those who might not understand. This John Henry Irons went by the name Captain Luthor in here. He's from another Earth, a different multiversal Earth, where he and that Lois were together. Not this Lois, that Lois. He and that Lois were together. They had a daughter called Nat, who helped him, build the suit and everything. And then somehow, we don't know yet, he's been transported to this Earth. His daughter Natasha saw her version of Lois killed by that version of Superman on that Earth. Now, I have a theory here as to why he's going by the name of Captain Luthor, and they kind of mention it here in this episode, where he says, and Natasha says, that the technology is still that they've stolen from Luthor Corp, still is keyed into Lex Luthor's DNA or to his personality. So I'm guessing that the AI is calling him Captain Luthor because it believes he is Captain Luthor because he's stolen the technology from Luthor himself. So it's not that he's going by the name Captain Luthor. That's just what the AI in the suit is calling him.
Yeah, and it was a great misdirect because totally didn't make you think that this is John Henry Irons. Like, why would you? I mean, the fact that he's in a suit of armor should have been a clue, in all honesty. But I really liked the fact that the reveal shouldn't have been as big as it was in the episode, though, now that I think about it, because his daughter's name is Nat. Now, in the comics, Natasha was his niece, not his daughter.
That's right, yes.
So, and she eventually armored up, and there was this whole thing after 52 with her having superpowers. Yeah, and it was like Infinity Incorporated, and it largely forgettable stuff, actually. I had to, when I was doing the research for it for the podcast this week, I was just like, oh yeah, that happened. I had completely forgotten about it. But the strength of it, though, is that you really like this character when they're showing him in the flashbacks, and you see why he is the way he is. Because my theory is, this may bear out tomorrow, it may not, but my theory is that on his Earth, whatever is happening with Morgan Edge right now happened with Superman behind it.
Right. There's a correlation.
And because something similar is happening now, he believes this is where things are heading, but he doesn't know that this is a completely different Superman. We don't know the background of that Superman. I bet you anything he's not going to be found by Jonathan and Martha. I'm just willing to put money on that. It's going to be like that episode of Smallville where they had Ultraman and he was raised by Lionel Luthor, or on the Superboy series where you had the Sovereign, which was a really cool costume. And also, Superman's married to Lois on this Earth.
Exactly. And I think they kind of hinted at her being some kind of, a grounding force for him and settling him down, because it was kind of a bit out of character, but when he had Luthor, or he had Steel, John Henry Irons, whatever you want to call him, pretty much knocked out after the Kent boys ran him over with the truck, he was ready to. He had his fist cocked back, ready to smash him, and John Henry looked up at that point and saw him in that black outfit, and obviously, drew that kind of connection of him being the big bad guy. And it wasn't until Lois said, "No, don't, stop," that he relented, which is kind of out of character for me, because our Superman would never hit a person when they're down, in that kind of angry state. I mean, I know that they were trying, I think it was very ham-fisted that they tried to deliver the message that it is Lois who is his, settling force.
It was, but also he almost murdered him. So, and his sons were kind of in danger to a certain extent as well. Though, I told this joke on the podcast, I'm going to tell it again. Whoever had episode 7 for the Kent truck to get trashed, because the Kent truck always gets trashed in Smallville, your winnings are at the door, so you can get those on the way out. While that was all really awesome, and I really liked the way they built to it, and again, I liked the flashbacks, I was also really kind of enjoying the Lana part of it. They actually gave Lana a lot to do in this episode, and I'm kind of liking that, because now she isn't just the mother of Sarah, she has some skin in the game with her being as high up. And again, I think we've talked about this on past episodes. My theory is that they are bringing in Kryptonians from the Phantom Zone, spirits, and having them inhabit the bodies of humans, and they're trying to amp them up with the X-Kryptonite so that they'll have powers. Again, I don't know if that's where they're going, but the fact that they talked about burning through hosts and you have to break some eggs to make omelets, it just seems to me like, one, they've been doing this a while, and two, now that they have a large supply of X-Kryptonite, they're going to try it with these 5 people, and from there the plan is to move more and more and more so that they can take over.
Yeah, interesting. We'll see where that ex-Kryptonite story line goes. But so now we have John Henry Irons. Will he be foe or friend? We just don't know at this point in time. I guess there's a lot of convincing to do for him to be able to trust this version of Superman and realize that he's not the same as the one that from the world that he came from. We don't know how John Henry got to this Earth. We don't know why there were so many Supermen there. Did he clone himself? Were they robots that destroyed all of the Metropolis buildings there? Or was he just so fast that he just seemed to be all in one place all at the same time? I guess that remains to be seen. But I did enjoy that flashback and seeing just the heartfelt, tragedy of what happened to that Lois and how it affected him.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty hardcore, being murdered on live television and having your husband and your daughter witness that. And I really bought the relationship between the two of them. They really had a good dynamic as father and daughter.
Yeah.
And it's just there was just a lot of fun before the big reveal, like him just like completely going as Lois. I don't know if I describe it this way, but him going all Rambo, as Lois said, and leading to one of the funniest parts of the episode for me, where Superman grabs the van full of mercenaries and just puts them on a cliff, just a random cliff somewhere, and it's just flying away. It's just like, wow, not only does it take care of the situation, it proves that Superman's kind of a jerk.
Michael F. Ballick in the comments says, how come this Superman never heard of ex-Kryptonite? Especially considering there's such a large cache in Smallville.
Superman was discovering new kryptonite all the time in the Silver Age.
True.
I mean, it's just, an ex-kryptonite wasn't even a Superman thing. That was a Supergirl thing.
Yep, that's right.
That she accidentally created.
Yeah, created it.
So I just think that it's just something that he hasn't discovered yet, which is fine. You see, that's the thing with... It's the blessing and the curse of having a 20-year timeline, which is, by the way, much better than a 5-year timeline. Just saying. Having a 20-year timeline, you're wondering why Superman hasn't discovered things. On the other hand, the Superman's history has gone very, very different from most of the versions of Superman that we witnessed. I mean, he was a reporter at the Daily Planet, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, et cetera, but, the way... I mean... Luthor being his archenemy is completely different now because of Crisis and the way it changed the history of the world. Indeed. So there's just a lot going on here that the fact that he hasn't discovered a new form of kryptonite just makes perfect sense to me. Yeah,
I mean, you can't assume that you know anything about this, how this Superman has come along in what his past is. We just don't know. It's because, as you say, there's so much has been different to the traditional storyline. Douglas in the comments says he's calling it now. Superman of that other Earth was being possessed by Zod via ex-Kryptonite.
That's a good theory. I don't know if I buy it, though, because I'm the guy that hates Dark Superman stories, but if you're going to have that be on an alternate Earth, it's like Ultraman. It's just another version of that character. And it's okay, because that's not the version of the character that you're following at the moment. So it's not like, they're suddenly doing a Injustice where, he just goes crazy after Lois dies, which is the worst trope ever, and they need to stop doing it.
A new name that I haven't seen in our comments before, Badass 9000, says that he thinks I would make a great Lex Luthor. Well, I am going to the balls.
I'm just gonna say this, guys. Steve has got like this really nice guy behind the scenes. You're absolutely right. He's a total taskmaster. He burns through personal assistants. I mean, he is a nightmare for the Superman homepage human resources department. And he owns the place, so Australia. It's not like, yeah. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm actually Lex Luthor the second. I'm his son with the Australian accent.
Then you need like the Amish beard and like the full head of red hair. You know, if you could get a red wig and like fake the beard, I think that would be actually that would probably look really silly.
Next
but
week.
I'd probably
All right, so that was the episode Man of Steel, introducing John Henry Irons with that twist. Not Captain Luthor, but the AI believes he's Captain Luthor, which makes total sense. So we wait to see where that storyline goes. But talking of Wale Parks, who plays John Henry Irons, he did an interview with TVLine.com where he spoke about knowing that his character was going to be John Henry Irons. He says that his comment here was, when they told me I was going to be playing John Henry Irons, I was overwhelmed, a little emotional. I remember growing up with him, but it's not just me anymore. There are other kids who grew up with this character, and there are kids growing up now who will know a different version of it. The responsibility is crazy. This is by far my most important role, if I want to phrase it that way, and I don't take that lightly.
Okay, one, I grew up with this character. I suddenly feel ancient. No, that was the thing, is that we're now dealing with, Steel. There was the 1997 movie, which John Bogdanov recently talked about on Facebook. It's a really great post. I suggest, if you are on Facebook, checking it out, because it was keying off of someone did an oral history of the 1997 Steel film. I'm still trying to figure out who pitched that. Because I've seen it as we're going to do an oral history of this great event, not the 1997 Steel film. But he was on Superman the Animated Series, and he was in the BBC audio drama, and he was obviously in the Death and Return of Superman animated film that came out a couple years ago now. But he's one of those characters that I was there reading the books when he was created and followed him all the way up to when I stopped reading the books, which is only about a year or so ago. So I have an affection for this character that is pretty deep, and just to see, this is one of those few times where I'm going to act like a little kid. Is I really, really just want him to be a good guy. I just want him to eventually come out and be the partner to Superman. Yeah. Rom asks, should you watch the Steel movie? Yeah. I mean, it's not good, but it fits.
You're selling it, Mike. You're selling it.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing such a great job of this. It is a major motion picture that was released into theaters that feels like the pilot to a mid-90s live-action Steel series. Kenneth Johnson, who wrote and directed the film, when he was approached with it, he goes, does he wear a cape? And they're like, yeah. Does he fly? Yeah. Well, he's not going to do that in this film, because Kenneth Johnson, as much as I love him as a TV creator, he has a disdain for comic books that's pretty hardcore. So they try to do really real-world applications of it. So some of it's fun, and some of it is really bad.
Fair. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. But
you have really? Wow.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
When I realized they were, moving away from the Superman connection to things, it didn't interest me at the time.
I own it on VHS. I have the novelization somewhere around here. I have the comic book adaptation, and I bought the DVD from Warner Archive because they have that print-on-demand service. And I swear to God, the label for the DVD looks like it was printed on a home printer. It looks like I got a bootleg copy of it, and I bought this thing legit. It's hilarious.
There you go. All right, so we look ahead to the next episode of Superman and Lois, which is titled Holding the Wrench. Here is the promo for that particular video, for that video clip. The promo trailer for this episode, Holding the Wrench, episode 8 of season 1.
Do you think I'll turn on humanity? Our worlds are different. Our Superman would never turn on us.
I was 1 second away from being dead. What happened on my world is already happening on this one.
So there you have it. There's John Henry Irons talking about how, what's about to happen. What happened on his world is about to happen, or, feels like it's happening on this world. And Lois says, our Superman would never turn on us. So there is that, her trying to convince him that things are different here.
Mm-hmm. Douglas mentions that he's surprised and not surprised that Steel isn't on HBO Max. When they launched HBO Max, it was there. That and the Halle Berry Catwoman movie. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. All right, so that's Holding the Wrench, episode 8 of season 1. And beyond that, we also have the description for episode 10. We already read out episode 9 last week, but episode 10 of season 1 is titled, "Oh Mother, Where Art Thou?" And it reads like this. It says, Lana reaches out to Lois and Clark when Kyle starts behaving strangely. Meanwhile, Jonathan opens up to Jordan. Lastly, Sarah storms out after accusing her mum of always covering for her dad.
I wonder if they are going to get to Kyle after all, because she was pretty much trying to keep Kyle away from Morgan in this episode.
Yeah, you're right. So, John in the quest asks the super chat, was he wearing the steel suit in the promo? I'm guessing he means Shaq. I believe they already had him in that suit and everything for the promo material for the Steel movie, if that's what John's asking.
If he's asking about the show, he is wearing the armor, but it's the armor he's been wearing. He was wearing in the first couple of episodes that got trashed.
Yeah, so it's just that same suit that we've seen when they were knowing him as the Stranger, if that's what you're asking about, John, about Superman and Lois TV series. All right, so oh Mother, Where Art Thou? Is that a reference to anything? Am I being stupid?
It's the Coen Brothers movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Ah, right, yes.
Where you had that Man of Constant Sorrows song. It had George Clooney and... who else was in that? Tim Blake Nelson? Somebody else. John Turturro. That's it.
Okay, cool. So there you have it. We haven't even spoken about Jonathan and Jordan in this episode. Jordan dealing with his super hearing coming in and out, and he focuses on the love of his life, Sarah, to try to, get his hearing kind of just to focus on one sound. And the timing is just really poor.
That was the most Smallville
yes.
of things that they could do on the show. Right down to him focusing on it's Lana's daughter,
yeah.
But that happened when Clark was getting his heat vision under control. He just thought about Lana, and that's when he burst that scarecrow into flames. It was like one of those things. It was one of those episodes where I'm like, Jonathan has a point, but man, he knew that the sound was hurting his brother, and he just kept doing it. I love that they got to save Superman at the end, and it was the entire family getting involved, and Lois and Clark finally deciding, okay, we're going to tell them what's going on, and kind of really involving them. It's been a great evolution for the characters. I was just like, wow, this is kind of cringy, but I'm glad they got past it really quick.
All right, well, we do know that Season 2 has already been ordered for Superman and Lois, and we now know that the Season 2 premiere will take place mid-season, which translates to sometime in early 2022. So we know that Superman and Lois Season 1 will end around August this year, and then it will be back for the beginning of Season 2 in around early 2022.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. I mean, I like the idea of them following the more British model with television seasons, because I think we're going to get a better show. I mean, the fact that this isn't 22 episodes is, I think, why the show is so good, because they have less time to do filler.
Yes.
So now everything's got to be really important, and they have not put the wrong foot forward yet.
Very good. All right, we're just over the halfway point of tonight's show. We're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and on the flip side, we're going to be talking about Titans Season 3. We're going to show some preview clips from a new crossover for DC Superhero Girls and Teen Titans Go. We're going to be talking comic books. We're going to do our monthly and weekly segments. So stand by. All that more and more coming right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying WGBS TV Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by visiting patreon.com/Superman homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
As the airline that flies to more countries than any other, Turkish Airlines is pleased to announce a new destination, Metropolis. A city reborn, rebuilt, and stronger than ever. Proud of its heritage and its heroes.
Well, thanks to LexCorp's substantial contribution, Metropolis is now open for business again.
Come visit the city of tomorrow. Today.
We can't wait to welcome you.
Book your flight now on Turkish Airlines.
About all that, do you? That's good.
All right, we're back on WGBS TV Live, where we were just marveling at the great commercials that Turkish Airlines put together for those ads.
They're really slick. I was saying this to Steve as we were watching it. It's just like they look almost better than the film they're advertising for.
All right, as I mentioned before the break, Season 3 of Titans is coming. The cast of the teen superhero drama gave us a video update on where things are at for this upcoming season of the show. I'm just trying to quickly grab you that for you. But I was surprised that hearing a lot of these actors, with their real voices. I was surprised at how many of them are not actually American.
That was my surprise too. That was my big takeaway from it, especially the guy playing Dick Grayson.
Yes,
he's got a really good American accent,
and yet I think he's Australian.
Yeah, that's what I was told. So,
and I believe also the guy who's playing Superboy is also an Australian actor. But so many of them have accents that are so completely different to what their TV character that they're playing. I'm just grabbing you the video for you right now, and I will play that for you in a second. Here we go. Here is the video of these guys giving you an update on where things are at for Season 3 of Titans, which will premiere August. So not too far away for that premiere of this season. And this video is taking forever. I'll play it for you when it is ready. In the meantime, while we're mentioning Titans, as I said, obviously Superboy is part of the upcoming season, as is Crypto. So there is a lot to...
Which is more important to me, actually, because I loved Crypto in the last season.
Yeah, no, I thought Crypto was I think there was more excitement for the way Crypto was, kind of introduced than Superboy himself. And, so August 2021 for Titans to return. The video is not coming up for me, so I'll just leave it there and push on to other stuff. Today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I think it was, the crossover episode for Teen Titans Go with the DC Superhero Girls, which was titled Space House, was aired on Cartoon Network. And I didn't realize, but Brainiac is a major part of this episode. Here is a preview of the Space House episode where the superheroes take a spacecation.
Whoa! Check out all those houses!
And each one is filled with heroes and villains. I could have shared a house with Batman? Come on! Space House, can you please tell us what is going on?
Why don't you come outside and I'll show you? Hello, Titans! You've actually already met me through my nifty AI unit, Shady, but now allow me to officially introduce myself. I am Brainiac, the multiverse's most brilliant mastermind! What's the meaning of this? For years, I have been collecting heroes and villains from across the multiverse by offering them the one thing they want most: a free vacation! And now that you are here, my collection is finally complete! I am ordering you to let us go! Forget it! The all-powerful Brainiac listens to no one!
Brainiac, you get over here this instant, young man! Who's that?
My mom. So act cool.
So there you have it. Michael was giggling in the background. You couldn't hear him because his microphone was muted as the video goes on, but you enjoyed that, huh?
Yeah, that I couldn't hear the sound, but the visuals just made me laugh. Just the idea that like there's a vacation home for all this different animated DC characters is just great.
So yeah,
I'll have to give it up for that.
Yeah, Space House is the 1 hour special of crossover between Teen Titans Go and the DC Superhero Girls, which aired today on Cartoon Network. Depending on where you are, it might still be there for you to watch. All right, and the Season 1 soundtrack for the DC Superhero Girls animated series is available now to download via Apple Music. It's pretty cool. Some of the tracks on there are real earworms that really just get in your head and just keep playing for the rest of the day after you've heard them. And there are 16 tracks available on the Season 1 soundtrack. But let's leave that there and move on, push on to the weekly segment of our show, the fan favorite segment. Here we go. Well, last week, I should say, we asked the question, what is your favorite Superman the Movie collectible? Believe it or not, we didn't get one response. I don't know if our demographic is a little bit too young to have Superman the Movie memorabilia or collectibles, but I was surprised.
Yeah, me too. I assumed somebody was going to like bring up the Taco Bell glasses, or just even like the soundtrack, or the Last Son of Krypton novel, the Making of Superman book. All the different ways they had to make up for the fact that they couldn't have a novelization because they didn't want to pay Mario Puzo any more money. Yeah, I was kind of shocked with that.
Do you have anything in your collection I know it's a last-minute question.
I have the novels that I just talked about. I have like a souvenir book that I bought on eBay years ago. I have different versions of the. This doesn't have to do with like when the movie came out, but like of the VHS and the DVDs, and like I have it on multiple formats, and the original soundtrack album and stuff like that. So nothing too extravagant.
Yeah, no, same. I think for me, the Superman the movie poster with the You'll Believe a Man Can Fly is up in my room in a far corner there. And the novelizations and the making of book was a real eye opener for me. Just reading how back in the day, without the computers, they were able to do some of the special effects. I remember them talking about one thing that always stuck in my mind was the nuclear explosion. The mushroom cloud was filmed upside down in a water tank where they dropped, a liquid into into a tank, and that the plume of the mushroom underwater upside down is what you see as the mushroom cloud for the nuclear explosion. That's just like, wow, like that's phenomenal. The ingenuity.
To answer JP Roca's question, yeah, Taco Bell's been around since like the 60s. It's been around since forever.
Indeed. All right, so let's move on to ask this week's fan favorite question. And what do we have this week for fans to send in, Michael?
What do your favorite Superman pajamas look like?
Yeah, we're asking we're asking about your sleepwear. That's right. We want to. I don't know if we want to see you in the sleepwear, but you can show us your PJs, your Superman PJs. Patrick Van Pelt saying he has the Superman the movie soundtrack, which is really cool. Thank you, John. That's awesome. I was wearing my Superman pajamas this morning and thought to myself, that's the question I'm asking this week.
Sometimes it's just that simple.
That's how you do it. Send us your photos, whether you're wearing them or not, of your Superman pajamas. info@supermanhomepage.com. Your favorite Superman PJs. That's the email address there on your screen, and we'll return to this next week. All right, time for our monthly segments, being the final episode of the month. Here we're going to move into the big questions segment of our show.
Let's start with the big question.
All right, Michael, what was our big question from last month?
With the release of July Solicitations, what do you think of DC's plans for the Superman comic book titles? And Justin Suarez wrote in saying, I have a feeling that DC is winding up to a culling in the Superman titles. I have a feeling that a character will be killed off to boost sales. It's either that or the DCU is falling backwards from the time of Crisis on Infinite Earths or Zero Hour that the DCU would be cleaned up. Nope, it just gets multiversed. Scooby, there is a mystery to be solved. Good luck with that.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, well, I mean, the Superman titles, they're not necessarily culling. They are changing Superman from Superman, the son of Kal-El. So I don't know if that counts. But JP Rocha wrote in saying, I'm looking forward to the Superman books for this summer. The books have the potential to bring some connectivity between the Superman titles, especially Action and The Authority. Coming out of DC Future State, Superman and The Authority picks up filling the details around Future State and Action Comics Authority backups. The success of Superman, Son of Kal-El relies how well it fits in with the other two books. And Supergirl is not connected to the rest, and I'm glad I am Tom King'd out.
You and a lot of other people, it seems. John Patrick Van Pelt wrote in, after reading through the July Solicitations, I think that DC's plans for Superman comics are exciting and interesting, as always.
Thank you, John. And lastly, we have Alex R., who wrote in saying, Superman and the Authority is probably the most intrigued I've been for a Superman comic since Superman Rebirth ended. I'm still not a fan of the decision to age John Kent and feel that it's still a very wrong turn. The choice to make him the start of a Superman ongoing also feels like it will eventually be reversed. However, if anyone can make a good book from a bad premise, it is Tom Taylor. I still feel it will be a matter of time before a reset button is pressed. Interesting.
Well, it's DC Comics. Give it 5 years.
Yes. So thank you to those people who sent in their responses to last month's big question. What do we have for people this month, Michael?
What do you think of Warner Brothers Animation making an Injustice animated movie?
Yeah, we know that an Injustice animated movie is coming after the Long Halloween two-parter that's currently taking place at Warner Brothers Animation. So what are your thoughts on them doing an Injustice Superman or Injustice movie, animated movie? Obviously, Superman is a major part of that. Let us know by sending in your answers to the Big Question segment of our show. Head to supermanhomepage.com. Under the contact menu, you will find the Big Question feedback form, and we will read out your responses when we return to this segment at the end of June. All right, let's move into the super secret soundbite.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
All right, the super secret soundbite from last month was the episode run, season 4, episode 5 of Smallville. Let's hear it again. Here was the sound from last month.
Mother would be visiting me in the hospital again if you hadn't pushed me out of the way.
Dad, it wasn't me. I saw someone who can move like I can. I couldn't believe it. He saved you.
So there you have it. That was the lengthy one, but the sound was easily guessed by a number of people. Who were they, Michael?
They were Eddie Chianti, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Stephen Marshall, James Finch, Douglas Meacham, J.P. Rocha, Ryan Ignatius Pratt, and John Patrick Van Pelt.
Yeah, congratulations to those 7 people for guessing where in the world of Superman that sound came from. Here is our new super secret soundbite for this month. See if you know where in the world of Superman this sound comes from.
My real name is Clark.
I don't understand. Weren't you just a reporter?
So there you have it. Do you know where in the world of Superman that sound comes from? If you do, head to the Superman homepage website. Under the contact menu, you will find the super secret soundbite entry form. Send in your answer and we'll read out the names of each person who guesses it right when we return to the super secret soundbite segment at the end of June. And they are our monthly and weekly segments for this week. So thank you everyone for getting involved.
Woohoo!
All right, so moving on to the comic book side of the Superman world. If you are a subscriber to the DC Universe Infinite Digital Comic Book Subscription Service, this June there are a number of things that you can look forward to, including, even if you're not a subscriber, you can for free read the Supergirl Being Super #1, and there are a number of other comic books available to read for free as a gift, I guess, to people to inspire you to maybe join up. But if you are a subscriber, then there are things like the Who's Who Update 1987 #1 available to read in June, Action Comics 1027, Who's Who Update 1987 #2, #3, #4, #5, and there are other Challenge of the Super Sons comic books and so much more.
I'm glad that they're still continuing with that. It's a good service, especially for people that just want to read comics instead of investing in them, investing the issues themselves.
Yeah, exactly, into the particular. So obviously, there's also Superman, the Endless Winter Part 3 Superman special is also there, as are other Endless Winter specials available through month, which were comic books that were not that long ago available in print and digital format. So yeah, if you're a part of the Infinite DC Universe Infinite subscription service, that's what you can look forward to this month. But the DC Comics people also sent out the solicitations for comic books coming out in August, and there were a number of really interesting things coming out in August. Amongst them, what a lot of fans are looking forward to, and this is what you can look forward to. Superman 78 #1 is coming out in August. It will be released on the 24th of August.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. And the fact that Brainiac is going to be the villain is even better, because that's something that they were going to do with Superman 3, and now we're going to kind of get to see a version of that play out.
Also available throughout the month of August will be Action Comics 1034, and this says the Warzoons make their way to the doorstep of the Fortress of Solitude, and only Lois Lane and the alien girl Thawla are there to defend it. That's because Superman is halfway around the world trying to stop the US from declaring war on Atlantis. The Man of Steel must make a tough choice, and odds are no one walks away happy. Elsewhere in Metropolis, Midnighter moves closer to the center of Trojan's empire in the penultimate chapter of this backup adventure. Also out in August is Superman Son of Kal-El #2, the second issue of this new ongoing series, written by Tom Taylor, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. And in this particular comic book, we have Suicide Squad alternate cover is available, but it says Jonathan Kent now dons his father's cape, but can he be Superman and still have a normal life? It's tough in this modern world. Danger is everywhere. The new Superman learns this is the hard way on his first day of college, and a deadly attack forces John to step from the shadows and into the spotlight, where his identity is exposed to the truth. An activist news machine ready to upset everything. So now he's going to have his secret identity revealed to the world.
Isn't his secret identity already revealed?
Yeah,
everybody knows
much.
that Clark Kent is Superman.
So they would assume that his son John would be the next Superman. That
yeah.
It wouldn't be much of a scoop.
What the hell?
I have to read that one to find out why that's such a...
Nope.
Odd... No, not going to read it? Okay.
Nope.
Well, I will. I'll let you know.
Yeah, just let me know how it is. I
Okay.
hope you kids have fun.
All right, so yes, you would say
my favorite bit of the solicitation is like, you know, those memes where it says no one, absolutely no one, and then something. It's like no one, absolutely no one. DC Comics, we're doing a Superman versus Lobo Black Label miniseries. Who asked for this?
Somebody out there wanted it. I don't know.
Apparently.
But before we get to August, there is a miniseries coming out, launching June 22nd, and that is titled Infinite Frontier. And now it's DC released a press release about this miniseries coming out, and it let me go through it. It's a 6-issue miniseries. It says, picking up directly from Infinite Frontier #0, when our heroes saved the multiverse from Perpetua in Dark Knight's death metal, everything was put back where it belonged, and we do mean everything. All the damage from all the crises was undone, and heroes long thought gone returned from whatever exile they had been in. So this is a 6-issue miniseries with Infinite Frontier #1, published on June 22nd, and then just a week later you get an insight into the cast of Infinite Frontier with Infinite Frontier Secret Files. And here are some of the comic book covers for this miniseries. That's the first issue there. And then the variants will have a connectivity thing for... Actually, no, each of the variants will connect with comic book characters right there. What do you make of this series?
It looks interesting. I'm probably not going to read it as it happens. And just wait for it to all come out and then pick it up on a sale at Comixology if I'm going to. But that's just where my head is at right now. So I'm in that weird position where, with new Superman stuff, it's all outside of comics. Or Superman 78 that's coming up. Yeah. So it's weird to be in that position, but that's where my head's at.
Fair enough. No, I can totally understand that. We will be reviewing Infinite Frontier for the Superman homepage, so fans can see if this is something that is in their wheelhouse. All right, but looking no further ahead than this week, actually tomorrow, these are the comic books that you can look forward to if you are a Superman fan reading comics. We have Crime Syndicate #4. Just turn off the Infinite Frontier images. So Crime Syndicate #4. That is available in a variant cover as well, with a different looking lantern. We also have Justice League #62 out this week, and that is also available in a variant cover. Also out this week we have Suicide Squad #4. I don't have the covers for there, but we also have the trade paperback of Crypto the Superdog, available this week. And Superman, the Man of Steel, Volume 3 hardcover is also out this week. And as you can see, that makes up the background of my green screen for tonight's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be picking
I'll
up
be
that?
picking it up.
Yeah, I was just about to
Yep.
say. That's foregone conclusion.
I will. I ordered it from my comic shop, and I am looking forward to buying it.
Cool. And for those reading the Ruby Justice League digital first publishing series, Chapter 11 is released tomorrow as well for download. And you can check out preview pages of Crime Syndicate number 4 and Justice League number 62 on our website right now. And look for reviews of both those comics to be published on our website tomorrow to give you an insight into whether or not you want to be picking up these particular comics. All right, we have time for This Week in History, Michael. Let's get into that right now. Let me play you your intro.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Alrighty, we are starting off in 1951 with World's Finest Comics, number 53, which had the Superman story, The City That Was for Sale. This cover shows a terrible waste of resources, as why is it Superman just saving this woman? I'm just saying. Jumping ahead to 1971, because this is weird, because we're kind of in May, but all these books came out in June, because tomorrow's the first day of June. This is Jimmy Olsen number 140. And it was an 80-page giant, basically, taking a break in the Jack Kirby run. So you got some classic stories, which must have been weird for people who were reading it. Also, we have World's Finest Comics number 204, which has the Superman Wonder Woman story, Journey to the End of Hope. This is the Diana Rigg type Wonder Woman. Jumping ahead to 1981, we have DC Comics Presents number 37, Superman and Hawkgirl teaming up, and the backup feature, Whatever Happened, or Whatever Will or Did Happen to Rip Hunter Time Master. You also had Justice League of America number 194, which has a really cool looking cover there. You have the first issue of the Krypton Chronicles. This is in the lead up to Superman 2, so they had some Superman miniseries out this month. And you also had Superman number 363, where Lex Luthor is just laughing at Superman. Jumping ahead, I love that cover. Jumping ahead to 1991, we have the final chapter of The Return of the Krypton Man with Action Comics number 667, which has a really cool Dan Jurgens, inked by Bob McLeod. That's an interesting combination there. And then jumping ahead to 2011, we have DC Comics Presents number 1. This is those 100-page reprint books. This was reprinting the Infestation storyline from about 10 years before this. And Superboy number 8, which has a Green Lantern movie thing on the front of it. And if I'm correct, I think this is like the second to last issue of the Superboy series.
Okay.
From this era. No, I'm wrong. That's issue 11. Never mind. And that's This Week in History.
Excellent. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this week's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to WGBS TV Live for our final May episode. Thanks to everyone who participated there on YouTube with your comments and for watching us live. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And remember, if you'd like to support the Superman homepage, you can head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, or you can click the join button there on YouTube with different levels of perks to become a member of our channel. And thank you to you, my co-host, not a patient man, Mr. Michael Bailey.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And
now we got to wrap this up.
Yes, we do, because we're almost at the hour. Remember, if you tuned in late, missed part of this episode, you'll be able to watch it in full, because this whole episode will be available on our website and our YouTube channel to watch ongoing. For everything else, don't forget to visit supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. Michael and I will be back next Monday on June the 7th, so make sure you join us at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of WGBS TV Live. Until then, I'm Steve Eunice. On behalf of myself and Michael Bailey, thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.